Hi, this is Dr. Pamela Jean with Hormone Sanity. I'm the medical director, and I'm here to talk to you about sex hormones. Now, sex hormones are a very important part of our health and wellness, and today's information will give you a little more insight to why hormones are important, to really help you have the vitality so you can live your life as passionately as you want. And that's what our hormones do. They really give us that extra life force to live healthy and strong. If you feel like this in the morning when you wake up, you probably need some help with your hormones. Now this lecture here is going to be about sex hormones, and in subsequent ones I will speak about adrenal and thyroid hormones, so stay tuned for those. But our hormones really do regulate how well we feel, whether it's when we get up in the morning or if it's even during the day. Hormone balance is extremely important for our well-being. Hormones actually manage us. They work as a team. And there's many different systems of hormones, which I'll get into in just a little bit. But the management of all of that is important for us to stay healthy and well. But there are things that interfere with our hormones, particularly toxins from our environment, but even everyday items like things you bring home from the store, furniture, the air we breathe, the water we drink, sometimes contains chemicals dissolved that we aren't even aware of that affect our hormones. What they do is they bind to our receptor sites on our cells and act like that hormone, but they're really not the hormone at all. So finding the balance also includes having a great nutritional program, because that is the cornerstone of being healthy. The real caveat to all of this is that hormones, in our hormone milieu, everything is connected to everything. Our hormones are like a web. They intercommunicate throughout the body, and hormones flit and fly throughout the body to really deliver messages to activate our cells. Their actual activity of hormones, what they do, basically, they turn us on. They turn a cell on, they turn a cell off, they modulate the activity of a cell up or down. And when hormones are not in balance, you're going to feel it, you're going to know it. Oftentimes it's very insidious. It doesn't happen overnight. Oftentimes it happens over a long period of time. Years and years of unhealthy living, or years and years of bad nutrition, or years and years of stress can have an effect on our hormones. The endocrine system is a very complex system of many hormones. The glands you see in this picture show you just the beginning of the production of our hormones. The one area I want to really focus on, however, is the pituitary gland. This is called the master gland, because it oversees everything in the body on how we function, how we regulate, and it regulates everything in our body. It's so very important that our pituitary is healthy, as well as all the glands that it governs. We have the parathyroid gland as well as the thyroid, thymus gland for our immune cells, adrenal for our stress hormones, pancreas, ovaries for women produce our female hormones, and the testes for men produce male hormones. All of those are important, and they all communicate with each other. And just like a conductor in an orchestra, the pituitary gland is our master conductor of the hormones and how they regulate everything in the body. It is so important that everything is in harmony. When you go to listen to a symphony, if there's a section that's not on key or they're out of tune, you're going to know it. It's going to feel unkind to your ears. So it's like a group of hormones, or even one hormone, can be out of balance, and the rest of you is going to know that and feel that. This is why hormone sanity was brought about, to really help women understand their hormone balance by testing. Let's look at one of the most important hormones for women, estrogen. This is a pictograph of estrogen. If you notice it has kind of a chaotic, loud, unorganized feeling to it. And that's kind of what estrogen is. Kind of loud and sometimes chaotic and erratic, can cause irritability if there's too much. And these are the pictures of the molecule of estrogen also. We have 3 different types of estrogens, E1, 2, and 3. All of them are important to our reproduction and our female health. But E2, estradiol, is the most important one, which is the one we'll be focusing on for this presentation. E1 is estrone and E3 is estriol, also important, but weaker estrogens. Now this is a pictograph of progesterone. Now looking at this, you can see and feel more calmness as you gaze upon that pictograph. And that is what progesterone does. It's the calming hormone. It soothes and calms, and it feels organized as in when you look at it. It's a wonderful way to see the opposite activities of each of these hormones. Progesterone molecule is the one on the left, the natural progesterone molecule, where it has the same base structure as estrogens, but it has different arms and different appendages of different molecules. The molecule on the right is actually a synthetic progesterone, also known as a progestin. Its common name is, its generic name is medroxyprogesterone, also known as Provera, often prescribed to women, but can have some very negative effects for some women. I never prescribe it because I feel natural progesterone is what the body really wants. There are natural progesterone receptors throughout the entire body, including the brain, the heart, blood vessels, and bone, to name a few. That is not so for receptors for progestins. So whenever a woman needs progesterone, she should only be using natural progesterone. Now, a happy uterus is a uterus that has a balance of both estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, which I will talk about in a moment. But in terms of reproduction and cycles, you need to have a nice flow of the hormones, estrogen and progesterone. This is a relationship graph of how our body produces estrogen and progesterone in a female cycle. The red line depicts estrogen, and you can see how it really peaks right before ovulation. It actually helps to stimulate ovulation. And when the egg is released from the ovary, the next hormone to be produced is progesterone. And then you can see here, there's the surge of progesterone occurring when what is identified as the luteal phase, which is after ovulation, and it occurs somewhere between days 19 and 20, 21 for many women. This relationship is very important. When there is a too high or too low of either one of those hormones, that's what can cause problems. Most often, however, the relationship between estrogen and progesterone is off because estrogen is higher than progesterone. And since estrogen is an excitatory hormone, it causes a lot of what we identified earlier as that chaotic feeling, irritability. And if there's not enough progesterone being produced, it can't have that counter effect of calming. So they play off one another, and it's important that they both be in balance. And it's important to measure them from a functional medicine perspective, which is what we do here at Hormone Sanity. Now this is a molecule representation of testosterone. Again, we'll see the same base, molecular base, as we did see in estrogen and progesterone. Some of the arms are different, and that makes progesterone different. And for women, this is an important hormone because it builds muscle and builds bone. It's called an anabolic hormone. Men have much more testosterone, of course, and that's why they have stronger muscles and larger muscles and stronger, heavier bones. Testosterone also plays an important role in sexual energy for women. So it's important to know what the testosterone levels are for women, and so that when it gets measured, we'll know if that needs to be also assisted in recovering hormone balance. It's important to know what your starting levels are before you're taking any new hormones. If you're running on empty, you're going to need something. And knowing where you are starting will help us know where you need to go. So get your hormones tested in a very simple, easy steps. I also recommend exercise and fun activities that really keep your body alive. And most importantly, I really encourage stress reduction. When we have too much stress in our life, this is what keeps us out of balance continually. So do whatever you can to get your stress levels down, moderated, and more controlled. Creating a planned and proactive health program is so very important. You have to think about how you're keeping yourself healthy. Work with a qualified health practitioner who knows about functional medicine, who is familiar and comfortable with hormone balancing, using natural hormones and herbs, and nutrition. You want to support hormone production first, but you also need to find out what your hormone levels are. And this is where Hormone Sanity can help you a great deal. The reminder again is to get tested first. HormoneSanity.com will provide you some of those answers. And the takeaway, as I mentioned earlier, to remember with hormones, everything is connected to everything. I thank you very much for listening, and if you have any other questions, you can contact us through the website. I'm Dr. Pamela Jean. Thank you very much.